When I'm going to apply somewhere, when teachers are going to apply somewhere, first thing they're going to do is go online and look at social and see where is this place, what do they do there. And so they might want to see the cool programs that you have, but they want to see the people.
I'm Dr. Jill Johnson. I've spent my entire career in education. I started in the classroom, then trained teachers, and most recently served as a high school administrator. Now I help highlight the stories, struggles, and successes in educating the next generation of content creators. Welcome to CGTV.
Well, Dr. Jill, it's great to be back with you today as we're talking about all of the different changes in our economy and our world this last year. One of the things that's been a highlight in the news from all industries, but is specifically relevant in education, is the challenge in recruiting teachers. Finding people who fit the right qualifications to keep programs alive and active and growing is a huge struggle. And I want to understand from your standpoint, what do we do to help recruit great teachers?
It's tough. That's a loaded question and kind of the million-dollar question in education right now. Everyone's struggling with it, whether you're in a metropolitan area, rural areas are especially harder hit. Trying to find the qualified people who are willing to serve in those roles. And so I think a lot of it is, one, continue to encourage students to join the profession. It's a great profession. I think sometimes education gets a rap as being poorly paid, stressful, those kind of things. But we need to make sure and tell that story, that education is such a fulfilling career. It is a very viable career. We need to continue to work on those kind of things to compensate our teachers appropriately and also support them. But it really is just an incredible career.
Yeah, well, I know you talk a lot about supporting educators, and having been a teacher yourself in a classroom, how do you feel that support, and how do you help share that support?
Yeah, for sure. So I was a classroom teacher for 17 years. I had a couple different principals and superintendents, and I think when you have that support, you know what it is. But I think it really is that relationship between an administrator and the teaching staff, and really caring about what they need. It's not just having the stuff that you need, like, do I have enough sticky notes and dry erase markers? But it's also just coming and checking in on you and making sure that you're getting what you need, that they're challenging you. I think when administrators come through and just do their checks, and it really is just a checklist, like, I have to come in here this many times a year, that's not support. That's not validation. I think teachers really want to know, what am I doing well, but how can I improve? And giving them some really solid factors on how they can do that, and then following that up with professional development, ongoing education, mentors, whatever it might be that particular teacher needs. And everyone has a individualized need.
Now, when you were recruiting teachers and working to help support them, you also were doing a lot in the communications front. How do we help support teachers specifically, which should help to recruit more? How do we do that from a communication strategy?
Well, I think in communications, that's your chance to really not only build your culture, but then showcase it. And I think it's very cyclical. So if you're doing good things in your school district and then sharing that out, then that comes back twofold from your community members seeing that positivity online, on your website, whatever communication tools you're using. And so if you're really showcasing those relationships, the way that you treat teachers, telling their stories, the relationships between teachers and students, relationships between staff members, really highlighting those online can really tell a lot. So when I'm going to apply somewhere, when teachers are going to apply somewhere, first thing they're going to do is go online and look at social and see, where is this place, what do they do there? And so they might want to see the cool programs that you have, but they want to see the people. And so they want to see, what are the students doing, what are the staff members doing? And so that means, if that means when you hire a new teacher, really highlighting them and where they came from, what their experiences in education are, what their family is like, what they're going to bring to the table for your district. But then also doing the same thing for your veteran staff. and telling their story and humanizing them. I think that can do a lot for recruiting people into your district, and then also retaining them because it really is a place that they want to stay.
Well, I think it's so important to be recognized and understood within your community, and so often we have teachers and educators who we don't find enough opportunities to recognize and celebrate the role they're playing. I love your comments. Any closing thoughts as we think about how to tell that story of how educators are connected with students?
Mm-hmm. I think by nature, educators are humble. And because of that, they don't toot their own horn, so to speak. And so that's something that communications team, administration really need to do. And they need to ask others to help tell that story. They need to ask their students, what's happening in the classroom? Why do you love these teachers? What are they doing that's making this a place you want to be? And then really telling those stories. By telling those, that not only gives a pat on the back to those doing a job well, but it also allows others to try to replicate that and say, oh, I should try to do that same thing. And that's what makes for a very healthy community of educators.
That's great comments, and thanks for elevating the role that really communication plays in supporting educators. I think it's such a wonderful place to be, and hopefully this really helps the industry as well.
Thanks. Always good to talk to you, Ben.